Hi, I'm Philip, and today I'm going to show you how I turn this piece of scrap wood into a heart-shaped serving platter or heart-shaped charcuterie board for a gift for your friends or loved ones, either for birthdays, Valentine's, or just those social occasions. It won't take that long. It's actually taken around about 3 hours from start to finish. So come join me in the workshop and let's see how I get on. Welcome to my workshop, a place I seem to be spending a lot of my spare time. We have this off-cut piece of Burr Elm, still with a live edge on it, and I've just measured out just over 2 foot because the serving platters are 12 inches by 12 inches. So we just leave a little bit for spoil. So I'm going to just draw a line quickly down there, take it to the saw and cut it in half. So now we've rip cut the piece of wood, we've got it to a size. So we've got the acrylic love heart as the template, and I'm just going to trace around it quickly, trying to find a nice piece of grain, which is nice there. So let's just trace around this one quickly. As you can see, I'm no professional and I'm no artist. So there's one, and then we'll do another one over here, say about there, trace around here, and then what we'll do is we'll cut the wood down the middle and then take it to the bandsaw. If you haven't got a bandsaw, use a hacksaw. Okay, so you can see that I've just taken an edge around about 1 centimetre from the trace line. So we're going to get to the planer and plane it down. So we're in the room with the planer and we've got our two roughly cut out love hearts. The love heart itself is just over 1 inch thick, so we're going to set the planer to just over 1 inch thick using the most flattest side. Otherwise I'd have to shimmy one side to get the board level. So let's see how I get on. We're back from the planing room and we've got our two roughly cut out heart shapes. So the next stage, it's getting a little bit more exciting now, is to get the acrylic template and stick it onto the heart, ready for the next stage with the trim router. So what I'm going to do now is that you don't need a lot. I'm going to use a couple of little bits of double-sided sticky tape, not a lot. That didn't come off very well, did it? And just place it onto the heart there, place it onto the heart there, peel the backing off. There we go. And flip it over. Placing it on the template, making sure that the template is inside the heart. And pressing it down. Okay, the next stage is I use this handheld router, and I've got a new Trend C121 guided template profile bit. Be careful getting it out because it is quite sharp. So we're going to put it into the top of the router, tighten the collet. Now we've got the router bit inside the router. We've got the template on the heart. We're going to router around the outside of the template, taking off the excess wood to give us a nice, sharp, defined heart. Okay, well, that didn't take a minute. So we've now got a perfect cutout heart. So we're just going to take the template off. I'll just use a little scraper to release it. There we go. Try to get it underneath. And then that should just come off like that. Oops. Okay, so now we've got a perfect heart. On to the next phase. So now we've got the edge trim routed out. I'm going to try and put a little bit of detail. You don't have to do this, but I'm going to use a 1/4 inch round over bit, or I think it's a 25-degree round over bit, just to put a little bit of detail on the front and the back of the heart. You don't have to do this, or you can do it. So let's see how this turns out. We've got our heart, we've routed it out, we've rounded off the side of the edges, which makes it look like a more of a ergonomic heart, if that makes sense. We've got 3 sandpapers, so we're going to start off with 120, 180, and then pushing up to 240. So we're going to start the sanding, which is always everybody's favorite job. Not. What I like to do is just draw a line over the top of the wood so I can see where I'm sanding, and then around the edges we can use these sanding blocks. I've got 120, 180 and 220. So yeah, so let's put our PPE on, and you'll see it after it's been sanded. As I expected, after the first sanding, looking at the knots on this Burr Elm, it's got a few knots that I need to fill. So I use this Star Bond medium black thick CA glue with the activator. I'll fill the actual knots and then sand them down using the 120 grit paper, and then hopefully it will smooth it out and you're not going to see them again. So come closer and have a little look what I do. So we've just finished sanding off the sides, and before we go to the last and final grit of sandpaper, we're going to raise the grain by just lightly spraying it with water, lightly. So we're going to raise that grain. So we just lightly spray it with water, just leave it on our little triangles and let it dry, and then we can come back with the last sandpaper before we go to the final stage. We're at the final stage now where our boards are fully prepared and sanded, and it's time now to use our food safe mineral oil to give it a quick coating, removing the excess, letting it dry before we move on to a food safe wax to buff it up. And then all we have to do is to dress the boards to give as presents to our loved ones or friends. I start by slowly pouring the mineral oil onto my wooden serving platter. It's fascinating to watch as the oil seeps into the wood, revealing the beautiful grain that often lies hidden. This is the moment when you can see the natural grain patterns come to life, showcasing the true character of the wood. After I've coated it well, I let it sit overnight to absorb all that goodness, and the next day the platter looks revitalised and ready to wax. After giving the oil time to dry overnight, it's time to add the finishing touch. I start by applying some clear wax to the board, making sure to cover all the edges. It's important to follow the grain of the wood while you're working to maintain that beautiful look. Once the wax is on, I give it a good buffing until I achieve that perfect shine and shimmer. Let me know in the comments if you had a go at making a heart-shaped platter. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for watching.